Hi, welcome to the Coaxum Report. This is Terry Coaxum. I'm your host, and you can find us on. You can listen to us on WXTX Bloomberg. You can also catch us on the Marketplace. I encourage you to download the app so you can tune into us at any time. You can also catch us on Android TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and I am delighted today to be joined with a friend, Miss Debbie Bourne. Debbie, how are you?
I am doing great, thanks. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being a part of the Coaxum Report. I am so delighted to have you on. On this segment, I really want to kind of talk about your business, real estate, and just how the market is. What should we expect? What we should prepare for. On this show, Debbie, we talk a lot about the barriers, best practices, and big ideas. So looking forward to just having a conversation with you around, things that we don't usually talk about, which is investing in ourselves and investing in real estate and in wealth. So can you tell my listeners who you are, and basically what you do so we can get started?
Okay, excellent. Hi, great to thank you for having me. My
Absolutely.
name is Deborah Bourne. I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I've been practicing real estate for a little over 25 years now.
Oh, wow. And you're only
Yes.
10, so hey, you're doing something right.
Well, real estate is ebb and flow. It goes up and down, and stay in or you get out. And they,
Absolutely.
absolutely, it's not for the faint-hearted.
And I have a lot of friends that are asking now in this time about real estate. They're interested in either purchasing commercial property, especially when I talk to my small business owners, or they're interested in purchasing a home or to upgrade their home. So, what are some of the barriers that you're a woman, you're in this business, and New York is, it's a wide open market. So there's a lot of competition going on. So how do you sustain? Like, what are some of the um, for this particular industry?
Well, as I said, it is not for the faint-hearted. From what perspective are you talking about in terms of purchasing real estate or in as a business owner?
As a business owner, because
Okay.
commercial real estate is very different than purchasing a home. And so we'll talk about homes because we do have some of our small businesses that listen in that are operating their businesses out of their home. And so
Okay.
we'll talk a little bit about that. But before we get there, I just want to let you know that our listening audience, they're listening to us throughout the Caribbean, Southeast
Yeah.
Asia, and all of the United States. And so, you may get a call, someone say, "Hey, I saw you on a Coaxum report." So yeah,
Excellent.
this is being broadcast all around. So yeah, from a commercial standpoint first, and then we'll talk a little bit about home based business.
Okay. Okay. Well, first I start in terms of as a business owner, as in any business, you know, you stay in the market. You stay if it's something that you're really interested in doing, you just have to keep at it. You just
So
have to
what
keep
would you suggest? Like, for instance, if I decide, you know what, and I have a friend actually, she's an attorney, and she says I want to go into real estate, right? And I have another friend that is just every time I turn around, they're looking at a new business idea, but now they're interested in real estate. So if I have any small business owners that are listening, or anyone that's listening on the line today, and they're interested in doing what you're doing, like what are some of the things that you would suggest? Some of the nuggets that you can drop for them to kind of assist them to get into that business
Mhm.
and to help others in that business, because I know you do a lot of that. I just got an invitation for an event that you did on Saturday where you collaborated with a lot of different groups to make sure that resources were available for
Right.
these in the community. So how do you do it? I mean, 25 years, that's no sneeze. So that means that you've been doing it and doing it well, or you would have moved on to something else by now. So
Absolutely.
how do you what would you say to our small business that are interested into getting into real estate, that are interested in purchasing a commercial property, or just want to know a little bit more about the business? Like, what are some of the things that they would need to know? The younger
Mhm.
you, what would
Right.
you have said to the younger Debbie, that would have probably been more helpful than right
Mhm.
than the older Debbie?
Okay. Well, first of all, any business that you get into, you have to be passionate about it. It has to be
Yeah.
something that you really want to do.
Yes.
because when the going gets tough, you have to hang in there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Um, in real estate, first of all, you have to there are educational requirements. The state of New York require that you do have a license to practice real estate,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and before you actually become a business owner as a owning a business in real estate, you have to practice real estate for a number of years and have, of course, the qualified education as well as a certain number of activity under your belt in terms of sales,
Okay. Okay.
right?
So they're secure. They're making sure that they're assuring that your clients are going to have the best knowledgeable agent possible when they're
Absolutely.
going to hire. Okay, that's good to know. That's really a good nugget. So making sure you're prepared, right? So
Yes,
always say, and you've probably heard our friend in comments say this too. Be ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
exactly, exactly.
You have to be ready if you're going to go into this, understand what the license requirements are. And for those of you that are in the tri-state area, if you're in New York, New Jersey, you can absolutely go into, you could even Google Department of State. And you can
Absolutely.
Google and to find out what kind of license are needed for your business, what kind of insurance is needed for your business, so that if you are looking to go into real estate, you can get ready for that business before you step out on it, because there's some requirements Debbie is saying that you will need to have in place before you're able to embark upon a real estate business. Okay, awesome,
Yes,
awesome.
absolutely. You have to, as I said, that you have to, when you do receive your license initially, and you have to work under a broker. You can't just get your license and decide that you're going to go do real estate. You have to be sponsored by a real estate company, by a broker.
Oh, that's good to know too. So that's another nugget that Debbie is giving you, not just having your educational requirements, having a passion for wanting to be a broker. You have to be a shadow a broker. You literally have
Absolutely.
to get the experience of a broker before you're able to go into a business on your own. Oh, that's good. I didn't know that. That's something I
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. They figure, hey, I go get my license and I just practice real estate.
right,
No, because I mean, in
right,
order for you need someone to kind of train you up, and although you're an independent contractor, you have to learn the business. You go to school, you get the education, but
right.
it's an on-the-job training.
Yeah, so
It's
you
completely
in
different. So
addition
you
to the
have to know.
credentials, yeah, you might have the credentials from education, but you have to have the on-the-job training. That's good. That's
Yes,
really that's really a good requirement, because one of the things that you're gonna get the experience of the broker that you're up under, right? You're also gonna get the resources from the broker, because they're sharing with you and their knowledge, their information, their experience, and also their network. And so, what I would say to that, to anyone that's looking to go into that business, is find someone that you respect to go up under. Find
yes,
someone that is willing to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So that
yes,
you are knowledgeable about this business when you go out on your own. You'll be able to train up someone else in that way as well. And that's how we are
absolutely,
going to be experts. Oh, that's good.
absolutely. And the trainers is more important than anything else. So
Yes.
you need to be connected with someone who would teach you and train you up. You know.
Oh, that's good to know. That's really good to know. So, one of the things that we like to talk about here, Debbie, in addition to just the small businesses and asking, what is a barrier to your business. Usually when I talk to my small business, I had a restaurateur on, I had someone come on, I had a lawyer on, I had the VP of list come on. And when we're talking and we're having these roundtables around business, one of the biggest barriers that we find is access to capital. Like, a
Absolutely.
lot of business are saying, access to capital is number one to them. And then after that, post COVID, it's marketing. It really is marketing. A lot of
Yes.
I literally had business before COVID that didn't have a website. They had no social media footprint. Well,
Yes.
they do now. They
Because it's necessary.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I'll ask you about that too. How important is marketing in your business? How
Oh,
important is it?
it before COVID, it was absolutely necessary. Now, post COVID, it's beyond that.
Yeah, it's
It's beyond
essential.
that
It's an
because there's
essential part
so
of your
we
business.
had since COVID, we've had so many restrictions that we have.
Really?
Yes, we've had a lot of restrictions. We our means of prospecting has changed.
Yeah.
There's so many things that the state has restricted us from doing that we cannot. So we have to absolutely change the way that we market.
Oh, wow.
And yes,
And so,
so
does any of that include? Because I see a lot more of this has come up. I see a lot of virtual tours of
you,
property.
yes, you see a lot of virtual tours, but in marketing yourself, I mean, social media is definitely like you have to do the social media, whether or not you want to.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 because you're not getting the foot traffic into your brick and mortar store the way you would have prior to
ex-
COVID. And that's the
correct.
same thing with the other business as well, even the restaurants.
Yes.
I was, I had a restaurant here. I had my good friend Bubby on Adamawame on last week, and we
Hmm.
talked about that. We talked about if you want your business to sustain and stay in your neighborhood, you have to utilize your business. You have to patronize your business. You have to go in.
You
Like,
do.
and I'm guilty of this. There was a store, Paramount Decorators, on Picken Avenue,
Hmm.
and I would go to Paramount Decorators every holiday because they would have the best holiday curtains, the best holiday tablecloths, and all of this stuff. And I went to go for Christmas, and it was no longer there.
Wow.
It was closed. And so I went online, and of course, I found them over on Avenue U. And I went over, and I said, "What happened?" He said, "We've been gone since April." Yeah, that part.
Yes.
That part. So we
Hmm.
can't go to our Paramount decorators and find that they're not there and then be disappointed if we've not utilized them since April. How many months
Right.
is that? Right?
Yes.
It's November.
Yes.
So, I mean, we want our small business to stay in our neighborhood. We have to recommend them, word of mouth
Word of mouth.
is
Yes.
everything. When people come into my home, for holidays and they say, "Oh, where did you get that saucepan?" or "Where did you get that whatever?" I can say, "Hey, I went over to Paramount Decorating," and then they'll be able to share that word of mouth. And the marketing is essential.
Yes.
Another big store that I loved. I mean, I'm still crushed to their clothes, but they never did any. They never did marketing prior to COVID either. But they were always known. It was always word of mouth, and that was Century 21 department stores.
Yes.
They never did any real marketing, and they were always open. And so one day I went downtown Manhattan, and I went and it was closed. I was like, well, I was devastated.
Really?
I was
Wow.
devastated. Century 21 wasn't there anymore. Again, this is something that has been a barrier for my business, especially post COVID, because the brick and mortar folks aren't coming in. The foot traffic isn't as it was prior to COVID, and
Hmm.
even more individuals are going back to work. They're staggering work because of the restrictions and the guidelines,
Right.
right? And so they're not all in on the same day, and
Hmm.
so individuals are bringing in their lunch as opposed to utilizing the stores that are near, and so people are closing. And so what that's been a barrier. And so making sure that marketing, like you said, making sure that my small businesses are on social media, making sure that they're sharing with their friends the services that
Yes.
you offer is essential to making sure that your business stay in business. And so
Yes.
one of the other things about the virtual tours, though they're good, Debbie, I gotta say, I need to be in the building.
Yes. Yes.
I
But
wanna be
we are showing properties in person.
okay.
So we
Good,
are
good,
back
good,
in
good.
person. We do show properties. We have open houses. So yes, I do understand that. It's kind of hard for you to invest,
Kind of right.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in a property and not physically see the building.
Yes, and real estate is like one of your top, like that's one of your biggest investments that you will have
Yes.
in your lifetime, and so it's important for me to kind of be in a room that's just like I'm still old school. I still journal and I still put
Hmm.
things on a calendar. And my friends laugh at me because they're using their phones, but I want to see a property. I want to be in person. I want to walk the floors. I want to see, I want to look under the sink. I want to make sure that if my clients are coming into my commercial space that
Hmm.
it's wheelchair accessible and all the other requirements that's needed for that space. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
glad to know that you guys are back in person.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Debbie, 25 years, 25
Yes.
years. So I remember growing up, I didn't know many female realtors.
Okay.
Most of them that I knew were men, quite
Hmm.
frankly. And now that I'm thinking now, aside from you, I have a few that I know, but I think I know more male realtors males that are in real estate than women. How is that
Okay.
market in that industry? Are you finding that it's equal, or you're finding that you have, you have more males, more females in that market? And and thinking about that, what would you say to like the younger Debbie to encourage and inspire other women to go into that industry?
Okay. Well, in terms of the number of people, I kind of see it balances in terms of male and female.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
Whereas it used to, you're absolutely correct. It used to be mostly male.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think that you're probably finding that in every industry across the board that you're finding more females.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, I am. So, what would you say to younger Debbie to encourage, inspire your classmates, say, or someone that is in your network to go into this field? Like, what would you like? There was this nugget that you wanted to kind of share with them to encourage them that this is a good field to be a part of. What would that be?
Okay. Firstly, I will say make sure it's something that you want to do.
Hmm.
Um,
Back to
and
passion. Got it.
take it seriously. A
Ah.
lot of people get into real estate figuring that it's a lot of money to be made. I'll get in, and when they come in and they realize you have to work at this business.
Hmm.
You have to work really hard. You know.
And
Uh,
yeah, you hear that though. You do hear people say, "Oh, I'll just do real estate."
yeah, I just do real estate. Oh yeah, I could go sell a house. I make a whole lot of money. And then they get into the business and they're like, oh wow, I never realized you guys really worked so hard.
Mhm. It's
Yeah,
sales. It's sales.
it
Sales has never
sells.
been an easy business, you know.
Yes.
If you're selling something, and even in my business where I sell service, it's sales.
Hmm.
So you have to get out, you have to get in front of it, you have to, know your prospect, you have to understand the market, what's trending, what's not trending, what it sells, what doesn't sell. So, I can definitely see where real estate is going to be a business where you're going to have to put your heart and soul in it. And you
Okay.
have to believe in your product too, is what I find.
Yes.
You have to believe in that space that you're showing. I don't find many people that can convince me to purchase something if they don't believe in it themselves.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you definitely have to believe in that. Now, I know that in real estate 25 years you've been doing this. And so how do the barriers we talked about a little bit, but I'm always interested in best practices and kind of the big ideas, especially post COVID. Like what are some of the best practices that you guys are able to do now to help you to not only sustain your business but to even grow it past where it was post COVID?
As I said, social media.
Social media.
That has been one of the
Social media.
things that we've had, we've definitely had to integrate a lot more into our business is social media.
How so?
We,
What are you guys doing to integrate it?
you know what you have, and each person is an individual. Each person is their own independent contractor. So each
Yeah,
person, although we have the business, each person have there is a business on in by
within the
themselves.
business, right?
Yes. So it starts first with that individual. What do you want to do? You have to have your plan. You have to have your business plan.
Okay,
Where do
good.
you see yourself? What do you want
Mhm.
to do? Where do you see your business? How do you see your business growing? What do you want to
So,
do for the next 2 years or the next year or the next 5 years or what have you? What do you need to do to make that happen?
mhm.
Um, we've done a lot of prospecting in the past, and a lot of our prospecting has been, in the past it was door knocking. Man,
Really?
yes, yes. Um, since
Door
COVID,
knocking to gain property, or door knocking to sell property?
door knocking to as part of our prospecting.
Ah,
Yes,
really? That's
yes.
interesting.
So to get sales, to get ourselves out there. Now that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, we cannot do door knocking.
Ah,
We're still restricted from doing that.
okay,
In the past, we've always done mail-ins. We continue to do the mail-ins.
okay.
We've done social media, but now we've upped the ante in terms of social media. You just have
And
to get out there.
are you guys on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or a TikTok? Like, how are you utilizing social media? I'm always interested to see, depending on the industry, how they're using the social media networks and platforms to get their message out there. I find that older individuals use Facebook, younger people are not using Facebook. They're on Twitter, they're on TikTok.
Right.
They're not even as much on Instagram as they were before. TikTok seems
Mm-hmm.
to be their thing. So, and I mean everything from showing a house. I've seen like
Yes.
about showing a house. I've seen TikToks about financing. Like, so they're really kind of stepping up their game with using social media. And the good thing about social media is that everyone can have access to it,
Yes.
right? Because that wasn't always the case with, say, an ad. Not everyone had the money to pay for an ad, to take out an ad. Not
Correct.
everyone could pay for TV time because those are
Mm-hmm.
very, very expensive things. But I'm finding everyone that has a smartphone
Yes.
is finding a way to get
Yes.
their message out there. So that's why I'm asking about how you're using the platforms, because I find different industries do different things to kind of get their message out there.
Okay. Well, I have to say I'm guilty when it comes to social media. I'm still a work in progress.
And I bet that's most of our listeners. So they need to hear that. They need to hear you can be successful and still be a work in progress.
I'm
So
still a
that's
work in
good.
progress. So I'm still working on that aspect of it. But we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and
Right.
slowly, merging into the other areas and the other platforms.
Wow, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that the real estate industry can transcend on all of the platforms. Because, like
Yes.
I said, it's interesting to see.
It's our way of advertising. When we have an open house, when we have a property for sale, maybe even when we just sold the property, just to let people know
Really.
what's going on. Yes.
Oh, nice, nice, nice,
Yes.
nice. And what about LinkedIn? Are you guys on LinkedIn as well? Recruiting, because that's another part of the barriers that I'm hearing about with my small business. Just keeping good people in place to kind of help
Hmm.
you grow your business, right? Even me personally, I find myself with a great assistant and they have a great ambition, and then I help them get to the next level and find myself without an assistant.
Yes. Yes. That's all part of the growing process,
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm always interested when I'm talking to my small business on the show on how you're recruiting, how you're sustaining your leadership within, because that's all a part of how successful we're going to be. I teach human resource management. I always tell my students that your human capital, your
Hmm.
employees, are your best capital. Like making
Right.
sure you understand holistically what your team needs so that they can help you be successful and get to your bottom line, whatever your mission or your vision are. So, as a small business owner, like you said, you all have your independent contractors, but you're depending on your team to kind of
Correct.
get you over
Hmm.
the finish line. So, what are some of the things that you would encourage other real estate business to do to kind of make sure that we're getting over that hurdle?
Well, it all goes back to, I say you hang in there. You do what's necessary. You do in terms of saying what's necessary. You educate yourself. You keep yourself educated. Know the product that you're selling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, you can't sell something if you're not passionate about it.
Hmm.
You can't do this business if you're not passionate about it.
Right.
And you just have to stay connected to people. Stay connected to
Ah, that's a good nugget.
You
That is
have to stay
really, really
connected.
connected. That's
Yes.
really connected. So now how do you stay connected? What's some of
You
the
call.
tools? Call?
You
Okay.
make phone calls, you send texts. A lot of people nowadays don't, everything is by text,
Right.
right?
Right.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So I hear your phone ringing. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. I got Debbie Bourne talking real estate with us. We'll be right back to the Coaxum Report. Thank
Okay.
you.
Metro New York's port services are currently constrained and challenged in facilitating the handling of international cargo. It's time for a whole new ballgame. Just 55 miles north of the city, Stewart Airport, closed during the base realignment, is an underutilized resource that could be maximized and bring growth to the area and relieve New York City. It's an ideal place for a thriving supply chain center of regional excellence called SCORE. We intend to support the New York and New Jersey Port Authority's commitment to the New York International Plaza, putting it at the forefront of a transformation of regional global trade, telecommunications, and economic growth. a logistics-based regenerative smart city that supplies an interactive platform of data and document interoperability to optimize resources. SCORE will transform this location into a thriving hub that can process and distribute cargo via various methods of transportation, elevating it to one of the world's best intermodal ports. We aim to build a cybersecure network operations center that enables customers to share data in real time across the supply chain and across the whole region, utilizing eco-friendly practices to keep things running efficiently. And it doesn't stop there. Not only will SCORE develop high-speed wireless networks in a data-driven city to improve logistics and facilitate international trade, it will also create critical infrastructure for regional economic development. By optimizing the business environment, attracting startups and investment, supporting the development of high-value industries such as medical, education, technology, and hospitality, creating new employment opportunities for the region. SCORE will inject vibrancy and inspire prosperity in an underutilized area to develop a greener and more livable smart city that thrives, bringing excellence to the Hudson Valley. It's a game changer. Visit IC Logistics to learn how you can support this SCORE economic development initiative at Stewart Airport.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
Hello. Welcome back to the Coaxum Report. So this is Terry Coaxum. I have a wonderful real estate broker on the line with me on the TV show. Her name is Debbie Bourne, and you can catch us on Amazon Fire TV, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and I encourage you to download the app at our TV network. And you can also listen to us on the radio with WXTV FTX Bloomberg. So we were having a super phenomenal conversation about real estate, but I have to go back a little bit, Debbie, because you're a veteran. So
I
the first
am.
thing I need to do is for your service.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. And so, we were talking about some of the barriers, and then you were giving us some great ideas about marketing and using social media. And one of the things that stuck out to me was the passion, that making sure that you have passion for this type of industry, because that's what's going to sell. Your passion is going to sell, your commitment is going to sell. One of the other things that I've had the pleasure of experiencing is your tenacity. Like when you're ready to fight for something, you're all in. And so the thing about what you do in your business is you're not just, we were talking about purchasing commercial property, but you're not just purchasing, you're also leasing, you're purchasing, you're leasing, and you're also, making sure that your clients have the best product. And so, I just want to put that out there, because
Yes.
you went straight into talking about some of the barriers as a woman in your industry. And then we started talking about how to sustain your business, how to grow your business. And you keep going back to the passion part of it, because that's your personality. Like you're passionate about making sure that your clients have the best product. And for those of you that are in the tri-state area that are looking for something here in New York, Debbie's company is Citadel Circle Realty, and she's at 1111 Utica Avenue. And so you can find her there if you're looking to purchase a property. She's a licensed real estate broker, and she's doing a phenomenal job. And one of the other things that I wanted to just share about Debbie is that she's always willing to to train, to encourage, to support, because she's giving us nuggets today. I did not know you had to actually be under a broker. Even so, you go to school, you get your knowledge, your skills, and your ability. You still need experience. So you have to go up under a broker in order for you to move forward in this industry. So that's one of the nuggets that Debbie has already dropped on us. Another one she dropped on us is passion. She said, if you're going to do this
Yes.
type of business, don't think it's not work, because it's work.
Oh, it is.
But you have to be passionate about it. And then another nugget she dropped on us was to be ready, so you don't have to get ready. So she talked about planning. She talked about, being intentional about whatever activities you're doing, setting goals. If you want to be this, go far in this industry, you have to set your goals and be intentional about what you're moving forward to do. Ask for help, I'm going to add, right? So if you're sitting up under
Yes.
your I would call him your advisor, you're shadowing you're shadowing someone to be able to move forward in this business, be able to ask for what you need, so that you can be successful in this business, and always be willing to give back. And so, and the
Absolutely.
universe will give back to you. And so that's 25 years Debbie has done it all, right? And so she's modest. She's, oh, I'm doing, I'm like, it's more than it's more than that. And so we talked about the barriers. We've talked about how the industry has changed post COVID. We talked about
Hmm.
pre-COVID and post COVID, and how the industry has changed, how the industry has changed with how you're able to deliver your product. The industry has changed with how you're able to market your product. The industry has even changed at in your product in general, right? I've seen a lot more real estate brokers online with virtual tours, or
Hmm.
even the mortgage industry. You know,
Yes.
the mortgage industry has changed tremendously as well. Can you talk a little bit about that, so I can help my listening audience that are looking to go into your industry to understand this is a very different market than it was post
Yes.
COVID?
Yes. It is a different market. In terms of the mortgage, I tend to stick, we say what you stay in your lane.
Hmm.
I'm a real estate broker. I do not do mortgages. So I do not,
No,
there's
but
nothing
you're
that we're,
yeah, but as a real estate broker, what are some of the steps that you have to do to go about getting to securing your property? One of them, and that's the only thing I want you to talk to, is as far as a mortgage. I know I have friends that are in Chase, and I remember, and I'm gonna date myself a little bit here. So when I first came to New York, I was at Manny Hanny, Manufacturer
That's the
Hanover.
name. We were trying to remember the name of it.
I was at Manufacturer Hanover Trust, and I went, and Manufacturer Hanover Trust became Chemical Bank, and Chemical Bank
Hmm.
became Chase, and now it's JP Morgan Chase, right?
Yes.
Well, back then when we were banking, it was a different mortgage process because everything was in-house. Like you literally came in, you spoke to your
Hmm.
banker, he knew your family. A lot of things went on character. Like, it was interesting
Hmm.
because I was really young when I came to New York. I was 16 when I graduated from high school, and I came here, I was working in the bank at about 17. So I didn't understand it until now. Like how much
Right.
of that was based on like people used to come into the bank to cash checks, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know so and so," and we were like, "Oh, you don't now, no. First of all, you have to have that money in the bank to cover that check just in case it comes back, right?
Yes.
Very different than it was back there when we were really basing everything on character,
Hmm.
community, who you knew, who could vouch for you, and all that other stuff. So that has changed, right? Then I remember when we went from manufacturing of a trust to chemical. I remember a lot more license were required. I remember you
Yes.
had to have license to do
Hmm.
certain banking. Like there was a wealth management component to that banking, and you had to have this some C license. I forget what it is, but you had to have all of those things, right? And then it went from that, from chemical to manufacture, I mean to Chase, and in Chase there
Hmm.
were more license layered on top of those license, and then back office became just that. It wasn't in the bank. It was now
Right.
you were calling and you were getting a back office. You were getting someone in Delaware. You were getting someone in some other state that didn't know you, that was only
Okay.
looking at the black and white. They were looking at your credit score. So your
Hmm.
C's, right? They were looking at
Right.
the three C's as opposed to, oh, I know Debbie. She comes in here every week, and I know her mom and her dad, and sit on the block. Like, it was no longer that. So that's what I'm talking about. So if I'm looking to get commercial property, and like we said, we have to be ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
Right.
So the first thing I need to do is, I know any commercial property, any property, one of the things that I was told to do, get a pre-approval.
Pre-approved.
Get
Right.
pre-approved, right? So that
So
means,
that's the first step in the process. You have to be pre-approved. This back in the days when I first got into real estate, real estate, like you said, everything was done completely differently then.
mhm.
Now, back then, people and people still expect that, you should go out and you look at properties. It doesn't make sense to do that because you have to know how much,
How much you
if
can
you're getting
afford, how much
financing,
property you can
how much is the
afford.
bank lending you? How much can you afford?
Yeah,
We can look at properties all day long, but if you can't afford it, it makes no difference.
right.
So the first step is that you get pre-approved. And when you do go to the bank, the first thing that they ask for, that they look at, of course, is your credit.
Hmm.
They look at your income and they look at your assets,
Hmm.
in order to do a pre-approval for you.
Right,
So for people who don't have that credit, do not be deterred. I mean, you can start the process anyway.
right.
And when I say start the process, find out what do you need to do to get ready
That's
so
right.
that you can be ready when you're ready.
That's right. That's right. So, what I would encourage individuals to do, just like I do with small business owners, I tell them to have a small business plan, know your, profit to loss ratio, understand,
Hmm.
what your projections are, and, make sure you're doing your taxes and you're not going into red simply because like all of the things I'm telling them to do to make sure that they are ready for
Correct.
the next opportunity, whether it's a next contracting opportunity or a next merger or whatever it is that they want in their business. I have to tell them to get their paperwork in order. The same thing I hear you saying, if
Yes.
you want to purchase property, commercial or
Hmm.
personal property, you need to make sure that you have check your credit score for
Right.
your credit score. There is Credit Karma now. There's
Hmm.
different things, freecreditscore.com. There's different things that businesses can do now to kind of check your credit score a lot quicker than they were
Yes.
able to do before. The other thing is you can dispute it right there. Like if you see discrepancies in your credit score, you're able to just click on discrepancies, explain what it is, and then it's up to the person that put it, the group that put it on your credit score to prove it. And so make sure you're getting your paperwork together so you can
Mm-hmm.
you can, you know, send in a documentation of why you are disputing this particular thing on your credit score. And then they have a certain amount of days, not years, that they have to prove it or it gets dropped off your score, dropped off your credit report. And so, but agencies, there are agencies that get paid to do this kind of work. So I encourage you, to
Yes.
find an agency to do it for you, because you don't have to do all of this on your own anymore. It's a lot simpler now to check all three credit reports because they're reporting things differently.
Correct.
Two, making sure that you are, any discrepancies on your report, you're disputing them and you're
Mm-hmm.
getting your paperwork in order so you
Yes.
can prove, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the third thing you're going to do after your credit score is in place, then what's the next step, Debbie?
Once your credit score is in place, you sit with a banker,
Okay,
and we have people that come into our office and they just want to know what the steps are.
right,
We've been in the business long enough. We have a lot of connections. We have a lot of bankers that we work with.
right,
We could refer you to a few people. I always tell people, and you speak to a few and you see who you feel comfortable with. Once you go
absolutely.
in and you sit with that banker, they'll tell you exactly what you would need. Of course, you have to have either like you said, you do your taxes,
That's
because
right.
they're going to ask for your last 2 years tax returns,
Yes,
right? They're going to ask for updated pay stubs, or if you're independent contractor or you're a small business owner, they're going to ask for a P&L, which means profit and loss.
right, right.
So they'll ask for your last 2 years tax returns, and they'll ask for profit and loss for the
Statement.
current
Right.
period.
Right. And
Now,
that's really important for folks to know, because folks believe that they can just see a property, call you up and be like, all right, Debbie, I want to buy this property, make it happen. And you feel like
and
never
like, oh,
happened.
we can't do that. Hold on. Did you speak to a banker? Are you pre-approved? Do you have all that information?
Right.
And and make sure that when you do a profit and loss, that you have the documentation
To support.
to support it.
Yeah,
Because you can't say that you're making all this money on a profit and loss, and then they ask you your bank statements, and your bank statements cannot support it.
that's right. And one of the other things I know, when I was looking at personal property years ago, you had to have a certain amount, when you start looking for homes, you should definitely keep a certain amount in your account so that they can see like that steady flow. Um,
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
that's something I wanted to
yes.
add, because they, I was surprised by that. I was like, what do you mean?
As a first-time home buyer, there's so many different products that's out there that's available. And as you indicated, we did have a seminar just recently. We will have another one. So I will say, just I'll give my number if you don't mind. If I
Oh,
can put my
sure.
number out there, it's 718-690-5449. That's my personal number. Stay in touch. Call us. We will be doing it more frequently. We had amazing people at this conference, and the conference was so amazing. There was so much information that was out there. They'll tell you about different products that a first-time home buyer, that you could purchase a home with as little as 1% down
Hmm.
as a first-time home buyer. And there's so many products and grants that's out there that's available.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's really
Attorney
important
that was
for.
there, when do you have when can you have a conversation with an attorney without having to pay a consultation fee? So we provided all that for you. You could come out, have a conversation, find out, ask your questions. We had
That's right.
banks out there, they're inspectors. So there's once you do get pre-approved, and say you come into my office now and you say, okay, Deborah, I have been pre-approved. I'm ready to purchase a house. And we sit down, we have the conversation.
Absolutely.
We walk you through the steps of what it is, to purchase this home. It's not just that you go in, you find a house, you buy that, and you put your down payment. There's a process.
So now I want you to talk a little bit about that, because we went from the commercial property to purchasing your home, right? So I'm purchasing my home, and now I want to have a business in my home, a home-based business, right? Do I
Huh?
have to have anything special when I'm purchasing? Because you are selling commercial property, but you're also selling personal property, right? And so I'm going to purchase a home. Is there anything that you take into consideration when you're looking to help me? Because I know, first of all, you're very attention to detail, right? So you're making
Mm-hmm.
sure when I say to you, okay, Dad, I want to purchase the property. I want to make sure that I'm having my home on the first floor. And so what do I need to have in place to be successful in that space? Is there anything that you
Okay.
look for, Lily, to help me out with that?
Okay. So you're talking about purchasing your residential property.
Person in my residential property and putting my home-based business in it.
Okay. Well, two separate things.
Exactly. That's why I
Um,
want you to cover it.
now, in purchasing your home, I find out exactly what it is that you're looking for.
That's right.
So we get that, in terms of the square footage, and we go out, we look at the properties, and you see what works best for you for that space.
Right.
Putting your home-based business in there. What type of business do you want? Do you plan on having in that space?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm looking to
you
have a
know,
consulting business in that space. I wanna consult out of that space. I want to be able to set up Zoom-based trainings and computer-based trainings in there. I won't really have too much foot traffic in and out of the business.
mhm.
Because I will have the business insurance and workers' compensation, and I'll
Now,
have
would you want to have that in your home?
yeah, I have all of them in my home, but I want my assistant will likely be there, so I will have a person there. So what would so I'm saying to you, I need I would like to have a property this way. I'm telling you what type of business it is, and now you're taking that into consideration. What now would be the next steps in securing a home with my home based business?
Okay, well, that I go back to say the home-based business is something separate. So that what you decide to do with that space, you just want to make sure that whatever it is that you purchase in, whatever your plans are, that you have the right, you have the right space for it.
That's right.
So if you tell me that you want to have, this is obviously you go, you look at the homes and you see, is it set up for what you want, or do
Right.
you have to invest in it?
That's right. That's right. And so the
When
reason
you're
I'm
purchasing the property, if you're purchasing this property as your home, you don't necessarily, that is a completely separate conversation.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, if you're looking for a home, say your residential space.
hmm So the reason
So,
that I'm
uh-huh.
asking is because in working with the Small Business Administration, the numbers are extremely high for home-based business. There's a lot of home-based business, right? And
Right.
so when persons are purchasing their homes, they don't usually. Sometimes they think about having a home-based business. Other times they
Mm-hmm.
don't. But when you say get ready, so you don't have to be ready, so you don't have to get ready. This
Mm-hmm.
is one of the nuggets that I wanted to leave with the listening audience. If you are thinking about having a business in your home, then there are some things you need to take into consideration so that you can have the best business in your home and still be comfortable, living there residential and having a sort of a commercial space where you are operating your business out of it. And so, like Debbie said, it's two totally different things, but for the individual homeowner slash business owner, you have to take those things into consideration when you're looking to purchase a home that you're going to operate your business out of. And so that's what I wanted to kind of bring home. So the individuals are actually thinking about those things when they are looking at their commercial properties. So, Debbie, one of the other things I wanted to kind of get into with you, and I know we don't have a lot of time. It seems like we're getting ready to run out of time pretty quickly. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about because we know that you do leasing, you're purchasing, leasing of property, and of course, selling, purchasing, or leasing of property. And
Mm-hmm.
so those are three different things. So if I wanted to, one, we talked about being a licensed real estate broker, and
Mm-hmm.
so being able to do the three of these things. But leasing, we really didn't talk about commercial leasing. Like, how does that work? Don't want to leave that off the table because that's usually how most businesses
Mm-hmm.
are in business. They usually lease a property. So
Right.
you're my realtor. What should I expect from you, and what should you expect from me in order to lease a property?
Okay. So you're looking to lease a property for your business. How
Yes,
long has this business been in existence?
about 7 years.
Okay. Do you have financials for that business?
Yes, absolutely. You have to.
Right. Do you have financials for that business? The landlord will probably ask for about 3 years of financials. And if that business is able to sustain itself, that will probably be fine. If you have to be the guarantor for the business, then they'll also ask for your personal information.
Back that up. That's what I wanted to talk about. What is a guarantor?
Okay, basically a guarantor means that you are the person who, your finances, you're going to be, if the business cannot pay the rent, you are the one who will be stepping forward to pay that rent or to pay the bills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I
Yes.
get, so people don't really understand what that is. It's sort of like you co-signing. You
Right,
are
you're
co-signing
co-signing.
for
You're
the
saying
business,
I will be held responsible
liable for
if
it.
the business, right.
That's right. And I needed you to kind of say that because a lot of people believe, oh, it's a commercial property, I could just leave. No, you still have some steps that you got to take because the landlord has to be protected as well,
Right,
moving forward.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's not just in commercial business. Sometimes people actually become guarantors for residential, for an apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. And just so that you understand that as a guarantor, you are responsible.
Wow.
You're
Okay.
not just putting your name on there and saying, yes, okay, because we're using what they're doing is that when you say that you're a guarantor, they're also using your finances to show that you
Ah,
can afford to
because you
pay
can
this
afford
rent.
to pay.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So you guys be careful. She just gave you a huge nugget. Don't get caught off guard. So when individuals are like, "Oh no, just sign your name. I'm gonna do." Just understand, you're not just signing your name. You're saying that I'm responsible for
Yes.
whatever this debt is. So be careful about what you're signing on to. And I smile because I'm thinking about my daughter. She's like, "Oh, mom, you could just sign for me." I'm like,
What am I signing?
Exactly. So, you have to pay attention to those things because, as Debbie said, you're going to be on the hook for it. So, whatever
Yes.
the finance are going to be, if you're signing, you're going to be on the hook for it. So that's great. So Debbie, this has truly been an awesome conversation with you, and I know,
Yes.
like I said to you, you're gonna be fine. Just about what you do and how you do it, and offer some best practices. Because we don't just want to talk about barriers in a Coaxum report. We want to also make sure that our listening audience walk away with the nuggets that you're giving to them. So one nugget you gave in the beginning was just be passionate about whatever it is that you have decided to do. So in any business, I will give that same nugget, be passionate about it. Two, making sure that your paperwork is in order. So if you're coming to Debbie and you want to either purchase a home, sell a home, or lease a home, make sure that you have your paperwork in order for that, on all three of
Absolutely.
those, right? Three, Debbie is saying to you, and this is something I just didn't know. If you're looking to be a licensed real estate broker, you have to go up under another licensed real estate broker to get that experience before you can move forward in that industry.
Yes.
So, I hear people all the time, oh, I'm just gonna go be a realtor. Oh, that's not how it works, right? So that is important for us to know. And then Debbie brings with her passion, she brings with her attention to detail, and then her ability to want to make sure that individuals that walk into her office or call her up are getting the best product for them. And so, Debbie, I thank you so much for sharing all of these nuggets on the Coaxum Report today. And so, there's anything else that you want to leave with our listening audience? I know that we are about to be out of time,
Okay.
but give me 2 minutes of what would you leave with those that are interested, one, in going into the industry, two, after today, what would you encourage folks to go do to make sure that they're prepared, right,
Okay.
if they're on the commercial side of it. So we're talking on the business side of it because it's all about small business on the Coaxum Report, but we're also talking about commercial side of it. If you're looking to expand your business by purchasing commercial property, what would you encourage folks to do as a final thought as we're moving forward? And for me, it's all about building wealth. And I think real estate is still one of the best ways to build wealth.
Okay. Absolutely. So I would say if you're interested in going into the business of real estate, first, as I indicated before, you do have to be licensed.
Yes.
So you go to the Department of State website and you find out specifically what needs to be done. You do have to first get your to get your license. You could go to an accredited real estate company,
Mm-hmm.
accredited. I'm sorry, not real estate company, an accredited school, real estate
Right.
school. And after taking the required courses, you do have to take a test. You have to take 2 exams. You take the exam that's for the school, as well as the exam for the state of New York.
Yes.
Once you do pass the exam, you find a reputable company. Citadel Circle Realty is a reputable company. So if you're looking to become an agent, we do offer some great training.
Oh, good. Very good to know. Good.
Yes, we do offer training. We have training every week. We want to make sure that our agents are always informed and that they're, we are mandated by the state of New York. So there are certain things that we all as realtors have to, rules and regulations that we have to comply with. Mm-hmm. So, and just to get you ready in the field of real estate, just to sell, to be able to go out there and sell. Absolutely. We don't just throw you out there by yourself. Absolutely. We kind of help you along with the process.
Okay. So, that's good.
Yeah. So, that would be required to become a real estate agent. And then once from there, then you learn and you go, the next steps. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to go to the next item that you asked about for the small business. And if you're looking to expand your company, as I indicated, your company, you will need your financials for your company. You will need, if your company cannot sustain by itself to pay what you're looking to do, you will also have to be a guarantor, a personal mm-hmm. guarantor. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to purchase real estate, a commercial building is, in terms of the financing, is different from residential.
That's right.
So when you're looking to purchase commercial property, you're looking to a down payment at somewhere between 20 to 25% down.
That's right.
So, of course, again, that comes back to where you actually speak to a mortgage broker. So you don't wait until you're ready until you're there. Speak to someone before, so you know how to prepare yourself to get to where you need to in order to qualify for a commercial property. And then once you have the pre-approval, we can help you with the rest.
That's right. So thank you.
Just give us, again, my number is 718-690-5449. Terry, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It was great talking to you.
Show, and I look forward to building wealth together.
Yes, absolutely.
And to all of you, everybody that's watching the Coaxum Report, please, look Debbie up at Citadel Circle Realty if you're looking to get into real estate, or if you're looking to purchase or sell or lease property. Thank you so much for being a part of the Coaxum Report.
Yeah, happy to assist
you as well. Have a great day. All right.